Hello, biology class. This is the second part here of the chapter, the 23B section of notes, and we're talking about sensory organs here. All of the sensory organs have receptors, right? We talked about that in the last section here, where there's like a pathway. The nerves are collecting information and passing it along. Kind of like telephone without an operator, with an operator, right? A receptor is usually sensitive to only one type of stimulus, right? We kind of said that before. Your sense of smell is not the same thing as your sense of sight, is not the same thing as your, some of your other senses, like when you touch something hot. They're all different and kind of meant to collect information from only one type of stimulus. Your minor senses, senses of the skin. So there's cutaneous receptors that are going to be part of your body's protection. It's wanting to help you touch, help you feel pain or pressure, make sure you're not too hot or not too cold. So the skin is important for that. Our sense of taste. Most taste buds are on the papillae of the tongue, and the cells that form the taste buds are not neurons, but they collect information. So this is a kind of like an artist's rendition of what your taste bud would look like on the papillae of your tongue. Your taste receptor cells, your sensory nerve fibers, right on the taste bud there. Okay, your sense of smell, we know this, so we've talked about it already. Olfactory receptors. Olfactory is smell. So these are lining the upper region of your nasal cavity. They're unable to regenerate, so the older you get, you can't get them back, right? If you damage them, you can't gain them back. You don't regenerate. The other thing that can happen with smell is that sense of accommodation, where you can get used to a smell, right? When your body's used to a smell and you are in the room, you don't smell it, right? There's a commercial talking about being nose blind to something, right? Your smell gets used to it. Your sense of smell is also connected to your sense of taste, right? So if you plug your nose, you may be able to affect your ability to taste food. Your ear, used for hearing, and something we might not have known, for balance. We have three main parts of the ear: the outer ear, which is your auricle, your auditory canal, and the tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane, also called it's also the eardrum. Okay. All right, the middle ear is going to pick up from where we left off, right? On the other side of your eardrum, or your tympanic membrane, are these three little bones: the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup, or the more scientific name, malleus, incus, and stapes. They're going to pass along the message, right? The sound waves traveling into your ear are going to bump into the eardrum. The eardrum is going to vibrate and pass the message along through those three ear bones there. Also here is in the diagram the eustachian tube. The other part of your ear is the inner ear. And this part is responsible for more the recognition of sound and passing this along to your brain. So there is a series of little tubule kind of things over here that are going to be used like we're going to learn for balance as well. Our hearing is going to also involve something called the cochlea, and it looks kind of like a snail coiled up, and that is responsible for both your ability to have balance and to hear. Our body has a sense of balance because of static equilibrium. When the body position is still, we're in equilibrium, right? Balance. It's controlled by two small inner chambers in the inner ear. Here is like a big, large view of what looks like on the inside. So you have little tiny hairs that are part of your ear, and those little hairs are going to be sometimes damaged by listening to too loud of a sound, or working with heavy machinery or mowers, or shooting guns. Those little hairs can get laid over, and they're not so sensitive to hearing. Up here we have the dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic means it's changing, it's constantly in change. Response to change while in motion. We have those little sensory hairs that are embedded in a jelly-like substance that's in the semicircular canal. The semicircular canal is those tubes that we talked about earlier on. So we have a normal, static, still body equilibrium. We have a movable, changeable equilibrium. We can have an overreaction, which would be motion sickness, when normal movement, like on water or on an amusement park ride, is not harmful, but it's going to confuse your body and make you feel not well. The eye and eyesight, we're going to just kind of go through quickly. The eye has a white part. It's going to have the shape of the eyeball. You have a cornea, which is the most anterior transparent part of your eye. You have the iris, which is the colored part of the eye, and the muscle that controls the iris and changes the shape of your pupil. You also have the innermost retina, specialized neurons and fibers there. Photoreceptors help you to sense light and color. The rods are going to be for your night vision. The cones are for your color vision. Sometimes there can be changes to your vision that involve your lens becoming clouded. That would be when you get a cataract. Those muscles that support your eye may not be able to be as flexible as they were when a person was younger, so it might be hard to read up close and then look far away and read up close, right? So those kind of things can be difficult. In the eye here, we see all the different parts. Visual accommodation means the ability to focus on different distances, right? That idea that I mentioned back here, that your eye can have difficulty focusing on something up close and then looking away and focusing equally well. This would be a picture of someone with normal vision. Notice the eyes, the rays are focusing on the back of the retina in just the right place. This would be nearsightedness, when somebody needs lenses to help correct their vision, because instead of focusing back here on the retina, it's trying to focus your vision here. Farsightedness, on the other hand, needs corrective lenses because instead of focusing on the back of the retina, it's trying to focus someplace back here, and it's obviously not going to be able to see through the back part of your eye. And astigmatism, a condition causing blurred vision because there's a problem with the curvature of the lens on the cornea. Your eye is filled with something called aqueous humor that's going to help to nourish the cornea. If a person has too much pressure in this area, they have glaucoma. Vitreous humor is for the main support of the eyeball, the main fluid filling the eye. The last slide here, we have tears that are going to moisten and clean the cornea, and enzymes that are going to help our immune system. Thanks. Bye.